What is up, guys? Delboy here. So on December the 12th, we have one of the most highly anticipated fights of the year between Guillermo Rigondeaux and Vasyl Lomachenko. This fight takes place at 1:30 and it will be for Vasyl Lomachenko's WBO super featherweight title. And it's a fight that has the world of boxing salivating, and I wanted to share my opinion, my breakdown and my thoughts on the fight. Now, where do we start? Let's start with the activity and the level of competition. That is one big factor Lomachenko has going in his favour. To me, in the last sort of 2-3 years, Lomachenko has been more active and he has fought a much higher level of competition. And if you compare both resumes and average it out, Lomachenko's fought better competition. The reality is, the only sort of standout win Rigondeaux has is Nonito Donaire. And the reality is, that was 4 years ago. So, since then, I don't think Rigondeaux has been active enough. And the level of competition he has fought when he's been in the ring, it's been substandard in my opinion. So, just going into the fight in terms of pure preparation and activity, you've got to say Lomachenko's better prepared. He's fought much higher level of competition. His tools are more sharp. And listen, not fighting high levels of competition for a long time like that could come back and bite you when you're in the ring with a high level fighter. So to me, in terms of the activity, in terms of the level of competition fought, Lomachenko has fought better guys and he's been more active. That is one big factor going into this fight that not too many people are talking about. Secondly, the weight. Is the weight a factor? Rigondeaux is moving up 2 weight classes, and some people said he was a small super bantamweight. As good as Rigondeaux is, the weight eventually is going to take its toll. I mean, he got knocked down by Amagasa, who is a C-level guy. Amagasa is a guy who Josh Warrington beat relatively comfortably. And Rigondeaux got dropped twice against him and had a hard fight. And Amagasa didn't bring anything to that fight apart from size. So we've got Rigondeaux moving up to a new poundage, putting on more weight against, and he's still going to be the smaller man in the ring. To me, from what I've seen, the size has to play a factor. And someone's going to say, well, there's a rehydration clause. Correct, there is a rehydration clause. And that rehydration clause is £138. But the reality is, Lomachenko weighs in on fight night around 137 to 139. So that's not really going to be a factor. The rehydration clause is not going to be a factor, in my opinion. So the weight, Rigondeaux going up 2 weight classes is definitely a factor here. I mean, we've seen Rigondeaux struggle against average big men compared to him. So what's he going to do against a pound-for-pound level talent who's bigger, you know? So automatically we're going into this fight. Rigondeaux is the smaller man going up 2 weight classes and he's been less active than his opponent. Okay, so let's talk about the stylistic matchup. Does Rigondeaux have high enough punch output to win this fight? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he can go into this fight with a low output like he does and come away with a decision, because against Francisco, I think he landed like 7 punches a round on average against Francisco. That sort of output is way too low. Way too low. And yeah, sometimes he can stop the opponent from doing something, but this is Lomachenko we're talking about. I mean, to me, Rigondeaux likes to sort of sit on the back foot, judge for range, judge for distance with his jab, look for that southpaw straight left, and slowly break his man down. He's a counter-puncher. He's a back foot counter-puncher. That is his main fight style. Does he really differentiate from that? Not particularly. Or not anymore, I should say. Back when Rigondeaux was on the come up, he was actually much more aggressive. He was still a back foot fighter, but he sometimes went into the boxer puncher mode. If you looked at his fights before Donaire, you know, he was more of a boxer puncher. He was more aggressive. But as he's got older, obviously naturally his punch output's dropped, and he sort of slipped into the boxer puncher, the counter puncher type of style, and he doesn't really differentiate from that anymore. So the whole Rigondeaux style, if it works, and it could look beautiful. But if Lomachenko figures him out and presents something that is going to make Rigondeaux change his game plan, can he do it? Because dare I say, Rigondeaux, it looks a little bit one-dimensional. We know Lomachenko can fight numerous different ways. He can fight in the pocket. We saw that against Walters. He can fight on the outside. We saw that against Walters. He can fight numerous different ways. He can fight in and out. He can put his shots together. He's more versatile than Rigondeaux. No doubt about it. Lomachenko is a more versatile fighter than Rigondeaux. And if Rigondeaux's chess match back foot boxing doesn't work, he could be in trouble here because he's going to get outworked. And to me, going into the fight, Rigondeaux has shown less variation than Lomachenko. And some people are saying Rigondeaux's reach could be a factor. Lomachenko's not going to be able to get on the inside. Well, I remember the Nicholas Walters fight, leading up to that fight. And it's a fight that Lomachenko doesn't get enough credit for to this day. Because a lot of people said Walters would beat him. They were saying, well, Lomachenko can't get past Nicholas Walters' jab. He's too long, he's too powerful. There's no way Lomachenko can get past the jab. Well, he took away the jab, and what happened? What did you have left after Lomachenko took Nicholas Walters' jab away? What was left? Not much. A very one-dimensional fighter was what was left. He took away Nicholas Walters' strength, which is his jab, and he rendered him an average fighter. And he made him quit. If he takes away Rigondeaux's distance control, his jab, and the reach isn't a factor, I question what does Rigondeaux do? What does he do? Because I don't think he can switch it up. If Lomachenko's losing after a few rounds, I could still see him trying something different. Maybe he tries to walk Rigondeaux down. Maybe he tries to fight on the back foot. Maybe he tries to go in and out. Maybe he tries to counter Rigondeaux. I don't know. But Lomachenko will do something different. He doesn't fight the same way like every round. He sometimes fights different every round. There's more variation in Lomachenko's game, and that could be a big factor here, along with the weight, along with the activity. When I think about this fight, I just feel everything is favouring Lomachenko. I really do. I think everything is favouring Lomachenko. Size, youth, activity, level of competition, versatility. It all favours Lomachenko. I think Rigondeaux is exceptionally good at what he does. Exceptionally good. He is the best in the world at it. He's the best outboxer in the world in boxing right now. No doubt about it. But all I'm asking is, what happens if you take that away? What happens if you take the jab away? How's Rigondeaux going to fight Lomachenko if the jab isn't working? I'm not sure. What about the durability and chins of both men? Well, Lomachenko's never really been hurt as far as I'm concerned. He's been hit a few times, he's been touched up a few times, but he's never really been hurt. Orlando Salido made him feel uncomfortable, and Salido outmugged him and he outmanned him. But that's the only time I've ever seen Lomachenko look uncomfortable. And since then he's improved a lot, but it's not the same Lomachenko now as it was then. You know, this is a guy who's improved fight by fight, and he's coming into his prime. Rigondeaux, he's been hurt, he's been dropped. People question his chin. You know, Donaire had him on the floor. Amagata had him on the floor twice. I think Ricardo Cordoba had him on the floor. You know, he's been hit and he's been hurt and he's been dropped. You can get to Rigondeaux if you land, and if Lomachenko's angles and hand speed and size is a little bit too much for Rigondeaux to handle, and he's not quite as effective with his defense. How is he going to take those shots? How is he going to take the shots from a bigger man 2 weight classes above him? Naturally. How is he going to take it? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. To me, again, everything... When you think about it logically, and I know a lot of people are big fans of both guys, and I think a lot of people are making their predictions based on hope rather than just using their sort of brain. Everything favours Lomachenko in this fight for the most part. Even if they was the same weight class, I still think most things favour Lomachenko. I really do. Look, let's say weight isn't a factor. Lomachenko's still been more active. He's still the fresher man. He's still fought better competition. He's still more versatile. You know? I mean, most things favour Lomachenko going into this fight. The actual skill level, again, I think Rigondeaux's his fight style is arguably better than anything Lomachenko does, but Lomachenko does a variety of different things to an extremely high level as well. Just the versatility of Lomachenko is my big thing in this fight. That's why I am favouring him to win. The versatility. I'm not saying Rigondeaux can't win, because like I said, he's an exceptionally gifted boxer. If his game plan and his fight style works, then he can win the fight. He can outbox Lomachenko. But all I'm saying is this: if that doesn't work, I think he's screwed. I think he's screwed. And even if it's working, like I said, to me Lomachenko has shown more styles of fighting, more variation, more variety, and more dimensions to his game. Like I said, Rigondeaux back in the day was more aggressive. He was more of a boxer puncher / counter puncher. These days, he is strictly an outboxer. And I think Lomachenko wins this fight. When was the last time we saw Rigondeaux put in a really good performance? Moises Flores he knocked out in a round, but it was after the bell. And obviously it was changed to a no contest, so you can't really count that. He got rid of Jazza Dickens in 2 rounds, but let's be honest, who's Jazza Dickens? This is a guy who lost to Thomas Ward. He fought a guy called Gian Francisco, and he looked terrible in that fight. He won the fight, clearly, but go back and watch that fight against Francisco if you can manage it. Go back and watch it. Look at some of the things Francisco's doing to offset Rigondeaux's offense. Rigondeaux didn't know when to throw in that fight, and he was getting a little bit befuddled by a guy who is a C-level guy. He had a good boxing brain, but Francisco had no power, he had no offense, and he had no sort of he didn't really come to win that fight. But defensively he was sound, and it gave Rigondeaux problems. Go back and watch the fight. Look at some of the things Francisco was doing to offset Rigondeaux. Before the Francisco fight, where he looked terrible, he fought a guy called Amagasa. Exciting fight, but again, didn't look great. Got dropped twice, took some shots, won the fight clearly. Obviously got the stoppage, but again, didn't look great. Before that, he knocked out a guy in 1 round who nobody heard of. Then he fought Joseph Agbeko, and to me, 2013 Joseph Agbeko, that is Rigondeaux's last really good performance. When he shut out Agbeko, wasn't the most impressive performance in terms of fanfare, but I thought he boxed really well. As a hardcore fan, I enjoyed watching it. I thought he boxed really well. But to me, the Agbeko fight is the last fight where you can say Rigondeaux performed extremely well at a high level. Because since then, he's not fought at a high level. So, the level of competition to me is a big factor as well, and the inactivity for Rigondeaux. If it's a tough fight, there's just too many things going against Rigondeaux in this fight. Too many things going against him. I think Lomachenko stops Rigondeaux late on. Rigondeaux retires in the stall or gets stopped by the referee or gets knocked out. Whatever way it happens, he doesn't see the final bell. I think he gets stopped late on. Rigondeaux's got a chance. Obviously, it's boxing. Rigondeaux is a supreme boxer. But again, I'm going to go back to the point. If that style doesn't work, I don't think he can win this fight. What do you guys think? Peace.